Greetings. Welcome to Butterfly Transformations, and you are with Tunisia Ali, and we're talking about a wonderful topic today. We're talking about manifesting new love. Now, this was inspired by a card that I pulled today. Although this is not a tarot reading, I pulled a card to see what would be an enticing, engaging, and activating topic for a video today. My braces have been recently, and they're driving me crazy. Excuse me. Join me at the beach. So I pulled that card. So I said, let's talk about manifesting new love, because this is a critical topic. So this is a video for masculines and feminines, although this video is more geared towards the feminine energy. All right, this video is also for people who are single or who are unhappy in a current relationship. And the reason why it's for people who are unhappy in a current relationship is because you need to get out of that relationship if you are not happy in that relationship, or at some point you need to consider going in the opposite direction, at which time, when you are serious about doing that, the energy of what I'm going to talk about today can be very helpful. I think the video may be cutting my head off some, so I'm going to raise this a little bit. By the way, if you have not purchased my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, please add this wonderful high vibrational edition to your library. Hopefully you won't be sorry. Shout out to all of my kindred spirits, both divine masculines and feminines, who have purchased this book in the thousands. Thank you to all of you all who are returning to Amazon in order to do your review. So let's just dig in. If this looks like a topic that you want to get into today, that you want to engage, if you're interested in activating the energy that is going to allow you to be a magnet and attract that special soulmate, divine life partner / twin flame, whatever, into your life, then stick around. Okay, so what we're talking about today, we're talking about manifesting, okay, new love. Now, the love you want to manifest needs to be a divine life partner or that special someone. If you're not in a place vibrationally to do that, then you're going to just be manifesting another relationship that may last for a certain period of time. And there's nothing wrong with that, because everybody's different, right? But if you want to manifest that divine life partner, then there's a way to do that. And if you want to manifest the next great quintessential loving relationship in your life, then you need to watch this video, and you might want to take some notes, okay? I wanted to make sure I did not leave anything out. I have evolved in my relationship IQ, my emotional intelligence quotient over the years. I've had quite a number of relationships, committed relationships, high value, depending upon what you consider high value, and my definition is quite different than some of the junk that you hear here on YouTube. But I've gathered in my experience, and I have also learned a lot along the way, and so that is what I'm sharing. Before I even get started, all right, I want you to understand two main things. The first thing is that everybody can manifest their divine life partner into their life. You must believe that you can do that, because it's a vibrational thing. It's just another artifact of abundance and high vibrational energy. It's no different than manifesting money. It's no different than manifesting health. It's no different than manifesting high quality relationships with anyone. Happy life, okay, has a certain high vibrational ring to it. And as long as you're in that energy, you're in the energy of attraction, you're in the energy of abundance. The other thing that I want you to realize, and I hope I didn't lose my point, the other thing I want you to realize is the quality of the relationship that you manifest. If you want a high quality relationship, then you need to bring that energy to the search. Now, when people say that all the time, you're going to manifest who you are, you're going to mirror who you are, I don't know if we really understand what that really means. Wherever you are vibrationally, that is what you're going to attract. If you're in and out vibrationally, that's what you're going to attract. Someone who's high vibration, but is in and out of that. And it's more of they They have highs and lows. It's more of a peak experience rather than a station. All right. If you're in a low vibrational strata, then that's the quality of the relationship that you're going to manifest. If you want a high vibrational relationship, then you need to be high vibrational. You need to be in that energy on a regular basis, on a very consistent basis. You need to be stable in that energy. The highest vibrational energy that you can get in is going to reflect the nature and the quality of the relationship that you're going to bring into your life, y'all. It's like if you're doing a telemarketer. If you're a telemarketer and you got 50,000 calls to make, you can tell by the numbers how many commitments you're going to get over the phone. It's the same thing. It may not be math, but it's law. This is universal law, and I mean it. When you are in the flow of life, when life is happening through you, when you feel alive, when you feel your glow up day in and day out, when you have an appreciation for the gift of life, when you feel complete within yourself and you know that God is with you and you know that you are not alone, that the Spirit is with you, that your spirit guides are with you, that the angels are with you, and you feel abundant inside, okay, and you are needing nothing, no thing, then you're in an extremely high vibrational place, and the extent to which you can maintain that determines the quality of the individual that you will attract. There is no shortage of abundance in this universe. There's no shortage of beautiful men in this universe. There's no shortage of intelligent, cerebral men. There's no shortage of passionate, good-looking men in this universe. There's no shortage of fit individuals in this universe. Okay, the sky is the limit. There are no limitations except the limitations that you place on your love life. Okay, so first and foremost, if you have not found that person, then you're not in the right energetic space. I don't care where you think you are. You either don't believe that he is out there or she is out there. You're not in a high vibrational place, and you have limiting beliefs which are repelling. Negative thought forms which are resisting the inflow of the abundance that is trying to come your way. So you have to look at yourself. To thine own self be true. I would say that to anybody who's not experiencing abundance in their life. You've got to look within, and you've got to do the inner work, because the inner work is what is going to bring you everything that your heart desires. We live in an abundant universe. There is no such thing as scarcity, okay? You've heard me say it 100 times. The sun has no problem rising. All right, the trees have no trouble proliferating and communicating throughout the cosmos. The grass is abundant. Everything in this universe worships and submits to its creator except mankind. We are in continual resistance to the inflow of all the beautiful things that are trying to come into our lives. Okay, so let's get to it. First and foremost, this is like number 0. It's not even number 1. It's like number 0. Clear the energy of past lovers, drama, crap from your life. In other words, know that in your mind intentionally, you have decided to quit whatever else was going on prior, to clear your energy and open up yourself to the idea that you're ready to manifest that individual into your life. That means you can't be dragging people on your back. You can't be carrying them on a pilgrimage to Mecca on your back barefooted in the desert. You can't still be trying to save somebody. You can't be playing hero. You can't be a martyr. You can't be anybody's. You got to cut all that out. You got to cut and sever the ties with the past. You can't be sitting up checking somebody's social media. You've got to let it all go. All right, it starts up here first, and then it manifests into your outward world, right? First and foremost. Second thing you got to do is you got to realize that you can't chase love. You can't be looking for it. Okay, as the feminine, you cannot be out there looking for love. As anyone, you need to have a healthy state of balance. You should not be looking for love. You don't have to look for it. You attract it into your life. You do certain things that nurture a certain climate or certain vibrational frequency in your world, and that draws to you the experiences that you have. Remember, we work from the inside out. Okay, this is the blueprint for what we produce out into the world. We can look at what's going on in here about what we're producing in the world, right? You can tell in a person's external environment, if it's a wreck, you can tell that they're a wreck up here, right? That's just one example. So you need to understand that this type of love, high quality love, is not something that you chase. It's not something that you are desperate for. All right. It is something that you magnetize and attract into your life. It is only something that you are open to receive by way of intention and by way of, you know, decluttering and doing all the stuff that I talked about a couple minutes ago in zero. When you are chasing, when you are out there forcing, when you are out of your feminine energy, I'm talking specifically to divine feminines, you are only going to get something which is going to make you miserable. You're going to get the exact thing that you're a mirror for, but that's not the thing that you really desire when you're in your right mind, okay? You give off a frequency of needing something, lacking something, I'm not worthy, I'm clingy, I need a rescue effort. You give off all of the stuff that nobody wants to be around. If you try to hug and give too much affection to a cat, it's going to run. Spend a day hugging your dog and loving on your dog and smothering your dog, and even your dog will run away. Nobody wants the energy of desperation. It is something that can be felt from the inside, and it is something that can be witnessed externally in your actions. So if you have the energy of desperation, you're not ready for a high value partnership, a divine partnership. You simply are not, because the energy of desperation is going to get you someone who's desperate and you're desperate, and then the two of you are going to have a very distorted, dysfunctional, and unhealthy relationship. That is the bottom line, okay? So you don't want to give off that air, but it's not just in your actions. If you're internally in a state of lack and desperation, it doesn't matter how you try to hide it, you're still going to attract that, because it's beyond the physical, first and foremost. So make sure you remember that love, this type of love, is not something that you're chasing. It is something that you are. Okay, it is a state of being. It is a state of consciousness. It is a state of living. It is a station that you are in. All right. Number two, what did I say? Number two, you need to know your value. I can tell you the relationships that I've had in my previously, and I can tell you that I was somewhat conscious, but nowhere near conscious in terms of where I've evolved to at this point in my life. You can be in relationships and be unconscious. You can say you know your value, but have no clue about what your value really constitutes, or not even really believe it, or not live like you know what your value is. You need to know your value, which means you need to know who you are. Okay, this is about the art of being, not the art of being a woman is what all of this is really about. Okay, in its truest sense. But when you are in your best version, you know who you are. You know that you are complete. You feel complete. You feel your identity. You know that you are connected. You know that you are okay. Okay, and it's not that you need anything. You don't need a relationship. You want one, but you don't need one. You are complete within yourself. You are abundant. The same as anything else in this creation, which can exist in and of its own. You came in here alone. You're going to go out of here alone. Having a relationship with someone that you love is just a compliment, but it's definitely not a prerequisite for anything. All right, so knowing your value, knowing what you bring to the table and what it is worth, all right, that is so critical. And that is what determines the degree to which you know your value and understand who you are and recognize what your worth is and what you actually bring in terms of abundance to a relationship is a direct correlation to the quality, actually causation, causative relationship to the value that you're going to attract. You need to be in your Empress energy. Is that number down here? I don't think it is, but we're going to make that aside. Actually, I'm going to make that number 9. Okay, I'm skipping because I don't want to mess up my numbers. I'm going to make that number 9. You need to be in your Empress energy. This is your Empress energy. The Empress is a rarity. She is not easily found. She is not easily kept. She knows her value, and she's pregnant with infinite potential. She nurtures everything she touches. You see that wine? What do you think that wine is for? She's a magician. She's a master magician. Everything she touches turns to gold. She's pregnant. She's fertile. She's fertile with possibility. She's always in her creative space. She's in her divine feminine energy, but she knows how to balance her masculine with her feminine, her internal masculine with her internal feminine energy. Okay, she's not wounded and carrying pains from the past on a regular basis that drag down her vibrational frequency. She is the master of sensuality. She's the master of sexuality. She is the master of nurturing, of beauty, of form, of life, of manifestation, and anything else that you can conceive of when you think of the womb of life that God has given to the woman, okay? She is extremely, she comes with all the fun, what is the word? Fecundity, I think it is. Fertility, the abundance, the prosperity, all of it. She has all of it within herself. And because she is a rarity, any man who encounters the Empress, especially when she knows who she is, not an Empress who doesn't know who she is. All right, you really can't be an Empress and not know who you are, but someone else can see something in you and see your value, and you not see your value. When a man or a divine masculine encounters this energy, he knows its value. He goes after it. Men are hunters, right? They like to chase. They like to show that they are worthy of the prize, because a good woman is a gift from God. All right, it is not something to be taken lightly. And if you are an Empress already and you happen to be watching this video, then you know that anyone's life that you left, they are still pining away for you, wishing that they could have a redo, which will never come, because the Empress is constantly leveling up, right? So who's the Empress? Well, the Empress in reality is a combination of the best of all of the feminine energies of the suit. And I would venture to say that the Empress is also the best of all of the masculine energies of the suit. The masculine, the extreme energies of the suit, the king as well, because she has aspects of the masculine within her predominantly feminine energy, okay? But she's very cerebral. She's a thinker. She's very discerning. She can be very direct. She knows how to communicate. Oh, this is the, sorry about that, beautiful ladies. She knows how to communicate what her needs are. She doesn't play around. She can investigate her divine masculine and spend quite a bit of time figuring out who he is before she at all commits anything. She's in her power. She doesn't play. She can see through the veils of illusion. All right? The better that you encompass this energy, the sooner you are able to weed out the people who have no business knowing your first name and your last name, or either one of them, okay? So that's the Queen of Swords. She cuts things out that do not serve her. She's extremely loyal, but she does not allow her emotions to get in the way of her ability to reason and rationalize what is in her best interest. The Queen of Cups. A healthy Queen of Cups is in touch with her emotions, but she does not allow her emotions to run her life. But she is very loving, very giving, very nurturing. Okay, she is not a martyr. Okay, if you're a martyr, then you're not in the healthiest aspect of your Queen of Cups energy. Okay, she's very, as I mentioned, very loving. She totally understands the art of being a woman. She's a very receptive energy. Her feminine energy is very much the predominant energy of this particular archetype. She's in her softer energy most of the time in terms of her ability to give love, to be very charitable, to be very forgiving. She builds the self-concepts of those that are around her. She can be a healer. She can be anyone who is not afraid to be in their softer side and feel secure within themselves. She knows who she is. Then here we have the Queen of Pentacles. All right. This is the energy of the consummate wife, mother, the one who runs the household. This particular person is a wonderful mate. She is very much adept at managing her finances. She is concerned with long-term financial health and longevity. She is concerned with legacy. She is very practical. She is very grounded. She's a perfect balance when she's in her greatest version of herself between the first two queens that I just mentioned a second ago. All right. She embodies the energy of stability, of security, So she's looking for those things in someone else. And if someone else doesn't have their coins or their pentacles or their crack together, she's not the one. She's not going to build her husband's or her boyfriend's dreams. That she understands that that is not her job. She understands that if she is complete, then the person who's coming to her needs to also be complete. She understands that if she's living in a financially responsible way, then the person that she brings into her life also needs to have their financial act together. She's not settling for just any old thing. She is concerned about the practicalities of life, career, business, home, okay, those sorts of matters. And then we have the beloved Queen of Wands here. A wonderful, wonderful energy. She is passionate. She has fire. She has desire. She knows what she needs sexually. She is not afraid to express it. She is a very sensual energy. She's bold. She's courageous. She's multi-talented. And she is a magnet. Just like the Empress. She is a magnet. Her energy radiates in a million different directions from within her, and it can be felt off in far off lands. This person's light is so bright, their ability to have presence when they step into a room, people know who they are. She goes after what she wants, and she gets what she wants. Oftentimes a business person or an entrepreneur, although not always, when she sets her mind on something, she gets it. She knows she doesn't have to settle for less. She is highly intuitive and psychic, and she also understands the dynamics of managing and balancing her feminine and masculine energy. All right? One of my favorite queens. So when you have the highest attributes and manifestations of all of these queens, you have the Empress, okay? And that takes me, this is where you need to be. If you're not in this energy, work to get into this energy. Don't go out there chasing some man, looking for some man, going out somewhere to meet your divine life partner and giving off the vibes in your eyes of loneliness and I need and desperation. Don't do it. All it's going to do is attract one of the, what do you call, lower dwellers, one of the bottom dwellers into your life is what that is going to attract. Okay. Number 3, have a clear vision of what you're looking for. That's got to start before the manifestation happens. It has to. All right. You can't put the cart before the horse. You need to know who is it that you're looking for? What are the things that you're looking for? Key qualities, write them down. What are the non-negotiables? What are the things that you're not going to settle for? Make the list that reflects your core values and don't budge on the list. If you know you want a man who doesn't have any children, then don't settle for a man who has children, if that happens to be your non-negotiable. If you want a man who makes a certain salary each year, then don't settle for someone who's just trying to, join the Foreign Legions at age 48 and trying to switch professions and start all over again if you know that that is not what you want. And there's no judgment there. But what I'm saying is whatever your list entails, know what it is, know it like the back of your hand, and that is what you're visualizing. That is the energy that you are embodying because that is what you want to bring into your life. So that's what you visualize and visioneer as you look at in your mind's eye what that relationship is going to look like and what it's going to bring into your life. Number 4, learn from your past lessons. Okay, before you even go into manifesting your new love, make sure you've done a review and an inventory of the past cycles that you repeated again and again and again, and the lessons that it took you a long, arse time to learn. Learn from what you don't want to repeat again. What do they say about history? We're doomed to repeat it if we don't understand it, if we don't acknowledge it. If you're not conscious of what each person in your life came into your life to teach you about yourself, and you don't know what aspects of those relationships, what part of the failure of those relationships was on you versus what was on them, then you haven't learned your lessons. You're doomed to repeat them. So make sure you understand what you were supposed to learn from those past relationships. Make sure that you've cleared those energies and those connections. Number 5, all right? as I said, be in a state of working on yourself. It's kind of like that first energy. Be in a state of focusing on yourself. You should already be in your divine life purpose, or committed to your work, committed to your children if you happen to be single and you're raising them, committed to your family. You should be in a state of relative balance in your life in many respects. You need to be someone who's constantly refining themselves, which means you're taking care of your physical health. You're taking care of your mental health. You're taking care of your spiritual health. You're taking care of your emotional health. You're taking care of, I said your mental health, but I'm shifting a little bit. You need to be taking care of your intellectual health. There's a little bit of a subtle difference between that and your mental health. You need to be taking care of your financial health and your overall energetic health, which means you're more than enough to keep yourself busy without pining away for somebody else who's not going to represent who it is you are wanting to manifest if you are sitting around all day thinking about this person. You outline these things, you do whatever it is you do in the way of manifesting, you cast your fate to the wind, you go on about your business, and you live in the energy of abundance. You live in the energy of the thing that you're trying to manifest. Okay, so that is very, very important. Be in a state of working on yourself and self-refinement and self-development, and be committed to that. That in and of itself makes you radiate Empress energy. Okay, it says who you are, and no one who is not at that vibration can even step to you, because they already know that you are out of their league. All right, because you embody these other qualities. The same thing as if you're an emperor. All right, if we're talking about the emperor energy here. The emperor energy has some shortcomings. By the way, I'm creating a tarot deck. All right, and I plan on adding 2 additional energies to that deck. And one of them is going to be one that gives a better that gives a more holistic view of what balanced divine masculine energy looks like. The Emperor has some shortcomings. Thank God for the Empress. Otherwise, he would be too far on the other extreme. All right. But the same thing goes for the masculine energy. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Number 6. Consider where you've ascended to in your journey, your love journey. And what I mean by that is, if you're able to look at your past relationships, you should begin to see some indications of leveling up a little bit with each relationship. Or if you regressed a little, then the next one you leveled up. You should be able to see some type of progression with regard to the men or women that you were in these high-level commitments with along the way. And what I mean when I say that is that by doing that, by leveling up, you understand that you can't accept what you used to accept. That also comes apart when you recognize who you are. It comes up as a part of this energy here. Because if you're really in that Empress energy and you understand what it means to be in that energy, then you really can't mess up here with number 6, all right? But if you know that you used to accept people who treated you a certain way, for example, people who were late, or people who did not fulfill on their word, or people who did not keep the verbal contracts and the promises they made you, people who did not value you. If you understand where you are today, then when those things show themselves, should they show themselves, then you automatically know what to do. You automatically know how to respond. All right, because I believe we teach people, and we put a lot of effort into teaching them how we want them to be and who we are. We spend a lot of time, and a lot of times that happens unconsciously, and you are constantly doing things that people are observing that help them to understand who you are. And you're not concerned with all of the relationships they had before you where they weren't dealing with empresses and they were used to treating people a certain way. You're not interested in that. You're interested in giving them an orientation to who you are, so that they understand very early in the game that they can't come to you with nonsense, and that if they do, what are you going to do? You're going to get that sword and you're going to cut them. And it's just that simple. All right. So that's why that is very, very, very important. Okay, if we don't understand the mistakes that we've made and the things that we've settled for, we are doomed to repeat those things. And as I mentioned to you earlier, an emperor knows when he sees the empress. And if you are truly an empress, then he's going to come to you with the type of offer and with the type of energy that will be irresistible. And he will be a man of his word, and he will have all the other wonderful qualities that you are looking for. Next, number 7, okay, be abundant. Now, I know I talked about the Empress energy and I talked about some other things, but what I want you to understand when I talk about being abundant is something that you are. It's something that radiates from within you. It has nothing to do with the outer edifice. It has nothing to do with the makeup and the jewelry and the hair and all of this three-dimensional crap. It is something that is deep within you that radiates through your eyes, and it calls and screams life, life force, primal instinct, manifestation, alchemy, divine life force, inner power. Okay, it cries out infinite potential. All right, it is almost like the quantum field, the unified field. You are a reflection of that so-called God energy. All right, you are a manifestation of that, and you were born into this reality with abundance and prosperity and all of these wonderful things being a part of your divine birthright. And you live like that, and it radiates from you, which means what? You have a high sense of value. You know your self-worth. You've done your inner work to try and purge yourself from the drama of reincarnating into this third dimensional craziness that we are in sometimes. You do what you need to do to cultivate your inner light. You're always on the edge of learning, so you're a lifelong learner. You nurture your passions. You're on your divine life purpose. You don't put other people before yourself, meaning you're not selfish because you have that Queen of Cups and the Empress nurturing energy, the Queen of Pentacles. All of them know how to love, but you are not a martyr, and you recognize the difference between self-sacrifice, all right, and doing what you need to do for yourself so that you can be a light for others, so that you can be a hub for other people. You recognize the difference. So you have a healthy sense of self. As I mentioned, you're married to your life purpose. You're not out there looking. You're getting fulfillment from touching the lives of people every single day. You're doing what makes you happy. Your life is balanced. Okay, as the feminine energy, you know how to make a home. You know how to be nurturing. You know how to make yourself beautiful. You know how to be, with regard to sensory input, irresistible. You know how to make a meal. You enjoy cooking, gardening, whatever it may be that allows you to be that nurturing vessel. You're in that energy and you're living in a very balanced way. You have a healthy life and you know who you are. You're living abundantly and you radiate that abundance and you radiate that confidence, and everybody can see it. It makes you a magnet. That's the energy of abundance. If you're not fully in that energy, then you need to do the work that you need to do internally so that you can get to that place. You want to be in that place 80-90% of the time. You may have days where you fall down on the job, where you're not feeling as great, where you're dealing with some of life's challenges and you feel overcome. We are all human. But your default vibrational frequency needs to be one of completion and abundance. Number 8, and this is the last one. Keep an eye out for red flags. Here again, we speak to things from the past, everything that has made you wise. We all have knowledge, but having wisdom is a spiritual gift, I feel, that is conferred upon you through God's grace. It has some providential aspect to it. The particular experiences that you have been given in life have been given to you so that you can develop a certain type of wisdom from those experiences, okay? This is very, 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 very muy importante. So in this case, you pay attention to the red flags because, as I mentioned in the beginning, your job is to be an investigator and to be an observer. And what does that take? It takes watching, looking, observing. It takes being a receiver of information. You're not doing all the talking in those early weeks. You're doing more listening. Okay, men love to talk about themselves. Granted, you don't want somebody who's a narcissist who only wants to run their mouth about themselves. All right, but if you're doing all the talking and they're doing all the listening, then they're summing you up, and then what are you doing? All right, so they're getting the scoop on you and perhaps determining who you are and what it is they need to say to you in order to impress you. Whereas a man wants to prove to himself, prove to you who he is, and he wants to show you that he's viral, he's strong, he can defend and protect, he can maintain, he can secure. He wants you to see the qualities that he comes to the table with. And when the time is right, you will be sharing who you are, and this person will see who you are. But in those early stages, in order to see the red flags, you need to be a little bit more in your feminine energy. You need to be watchful of some of the red flags, okay? And what did I write down? Red flags like people who have too many narcissistic traits. I don't doubt that we all possess some narcissistic traits within us, but textbook narcissists are a whole different story, and as are those people who have an abundance of narcissistic traits, which will inevitably drain you, wear you out, cripple you, and put you down with the sodomites, okay? And that's from Shawshank Redemption. No offense to anyone, but a situation that will drag you down so low you'll be a bottom feeder by the time you get out. Mind games. People who have the energies of so many of the cards in the tarot, the Seven of Swords. They want to run away from responsibility. They can't have a conversation because they're emotionally unavailable. They're always trying to hide things. People who aren't ready to take on the responsibility and do the work that they need to do to be successful in a relationship. People who are in the Five of Cups energy. They're dealing with the past they haven't healed yet. People who are in the Three of Swords energy. They have a sense of betrayal, or maybe they like and enjoy third-party situations. They haven't healed their lust issues. They like to include other energies in the relationship. If that's not what you're looking for, then that's a red flag to you. If you have someone who's hanging on to the past constantly, if you have someone who's negative in their mindset, who's constantly in a state of stress, they can't relax, their energy is very contracted, they're very insecure. These are the types of signals. These are the types of signs that you want to pay attention to, all right? Is there a lack of reciprocity? If you're the Empress, once they are able to make it to your good graces, you are a giver, all right? But being a giver does not mean that you don't receive. In fact, receptivity and receiving is the feminine energy. The giving energy is the man's responsibility. So you should be in quite of a balance between your two energies. You should not be overgiving. You should not set yourself up to be in a codependent situation, an unhealthy relationship, something that becomes emotionally toxic because you are overgiving. Oh, I have a reading that I have to do at 5 o'clock. I'm going to have to wind this down. You don't want a spiritual stalker, someone who is like an energy vampire, someone who needs your energy in order to thrive. If you're dealing with someone who's always depressed, who's always trying to drink their way through problems, who can't deal with the realities of life, who needs your energy in their life because it keeps them alive and it makes them feel good, run, Forrest, run for your life. This is not the type of person you want. You want someone that has their own light. There needs to be a balance. You're not looking for someone who needs to grandstand and be at the center of attention all the time and has that narcissistic arrogance. You're not looking for that, but you're looking for someone who's secure within and who understands who they are and who is very balanced. Last but not least, because I got to get ready to go, you want someone that's equally yoked. It's that simple. Don't try to reach down and grab the bottom feeders and bring them up. We all have to go up the hill. It's a matter of if you're going to push the load or you're going to pull the load up the hill. I'd rather pull it up the hill if there's a hill to go up in the first place. If you're not equally yoked with someone, don't waste your time. Just don't waste your time. Okay, it needs to be someone that matches you in terms of the prerequisites that are important to you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, or share this video. If you'd like me to do more videos on this topic, I'd be more than happy to. Write that in the comment section. If you made it to the end, let me know you made it to the end. Do not forget to purchase my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found some value in this video. I am sending you much love, much love, much love. Please excuse me, I can't seem to get that to stand up right. And I hope to see you again soon.